Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley. It is Friday. It is this close to a weekend full of Monster Hunter Worlds and Sea of Thieves beta and dying over and over and over again in Celeste. It's gonna be a big weekend. But earlier this week, Sony released a huge story trailer for God of War. It looks pretty amazing, along with the game's release date. And right on schedule, gamers came out of the woodwork to accuse the game of receiving a graphical downgrade since its debut at E3 all those years ago, which is a fair concern for a lot of people ever since Watch Dogs been a little bit more sensitive about it. One of the game's developers is now responding to those claims, clarifying the game has not been downgraded at all, they've just made lighting tweaks. Artist Raf Grassetti's translated tweet reads, "What has changed is just the direction of light and fog. The content is the same as the E3 trailer, but different context. You will understand when you play." He went on to say that the characters all appear the same as well, they're just lit a little bit differently than before, and I don't know, maybe I'm bad at spotting the details, but it still looks incredible to me. Is Sony prepping for better move controls? Oh God, I would hope so. That could be the case, judging by some newly discovered patents. VR Focus reports that a couple of new patents have been filed by Sony, which look to expand on the game's current move controllers. The new versions of the controllers indicate a top-mounted joystick in place of that wacky colored ball, along with several face buttons. And perhaps more interestingly than that, the patents also point towards finger tracking with these controllers. And considering that PlayStation VR sales have been on the rise, they've topped 2 million over the past year. It's been a huge, oddly quiet success. They don't talk about it all that much, but it's selling a lot, and it makes sense that Sony would be looking to expand on the move controllers because those are getting on in years, and they're probably one of the most limiting parts of the experience since they didn't update the original move controllers they already had for PSVR. On the one hand, very convenient because you could use the move controllers if you already had them from last gen. On the other hand, not the best, could be some improvements. And they still look real weird. Every now and then we get tiny little pieces of information about Death Stranding. Now, star Norman Reedus is teasing some other ideas about the game. In a recent podcast with B&H Photography, yes, very random, B&H Photography, Reedus said the game is all about connecting. Reedus said, "The concept is so mind-blowing because it's not like, kill everybody and win the game. It's a connecting thing. It's like the opposite. And, it's so ahead of its time, and there's elements of social media in it. And the idea is that, you have so many games and so many parts of millennial culture, I guess, is being alone in a room and you lose physical contact with people. This is after that and the re-establishing of that physical contact." So I still don't know what any of that means, and it seems like he's got about as much idea as the rest of us. Awesome. With anger about DRM and microtransactions at what feels to me like an all-time high, it's suddenly become very trendy to let players know when your game doesn't have those things. You gotta get that out of the way. And now the latest game to join the club is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Developer Warhorse Studios just announced that the first-person medieval battler won't have either DRM or a season pass via YouTube and Twitter. Previously, Warhorse confirmed the game wouldn't have any microtransactions at all. So far it's ticking a lot of pretty good boxes. Kingdom Come Deliverance releases on February 13th, minus all that other nonsense we've gotten used to in video games. It's a relief. You just go, right ahead of the release of Rainbow Six Siege's Year 3 Outbreak event in March, it looks like Ubisoft is about to make the game more expensive. The company revealed in a blog post that the game's standard edition, formerly $40, will now be replaced with the advanced edition at $60. The only difference is that it comes with a few digital goodies. Naturally, this has plenty of fans upset about the price change. It's not too often that you see games increase in price late in their life cycle. A lot of times when they leave early access or something, sure, but after several years, it doesn't happen much. All other versions are also raising $20 in price, except for the much criticized Starter Edition. It's only $15, but it requires a lot of grinding to get the game's characters, and it doesn't include an option to upgrade to the full version. Ubisoft didn't give many details about the why of these changes, but if you're interested in the game, I'd pick it up before February 13th when the new prices go live, and since it is several years in, most of the hardcore fans probably already got it. It's always fun to speculate about future potential Switch games because we're kind of at the point where I just want everything on Switch. And now 2 developers have talked about their desire to bring current titles to the Nintendo Switch as well. First up, Square Enix's Secret of Mana producer Masaru Oyamada told US Gamer they were surprised how many fans wanted the upcoming remake on Nintendo Switch, and as such, they're now making an effort to see if it's possible. However, he stressed this isn't an announcement or confirmation of a Switch port, nothing that firm. Meanwhile, Epic creative director Donald Mustard made similar comments to a fan on Twitter about Fortnite, saying he hopes to bring that game to Switch as well. We already know Switch and Unreal Engine make very nice playmates. There are a lot of games using it, so keep our fingers crossed for that one. Good news for Honor fans, y'all getting your dedicated servers. Well, it only took like a year, but better late than never, and the fans who are playing gotta be very happy about this. The game will be getting an update next month that's going to implement the long-awaited servers, something that fans have been wanting since the game released early last year. For Honor has famously lost quite a few of its players due to a number of different issues, including the lack of servers being a major one for a lot of people. But Ubisoft, to its credit, has stuck with the game with regular patches and DLC updates. The developer announced in July that dedicated servers were coming, and they've been testing them in recent months. And they'll finally roll out in the next update, which Ubisoft is calling the game's 5th season. And it'll also rebalance the characters as well as introduce 3 new training modes. The update's gonna be released on February 15th. Not a very long wait now. Hang in there, guys. A new indie game has a unique concept. Some of its features adjust according to the value of Bitcoin. Yet, the sci-fi action RPG Imperatum, in which you try to defeat a mysterious force that's trying to consume the galaxy, is introducing something called Bitcoin mode that will adjust things like enemy difficulty and loot drops based on the cryptocurrency's price. If Bitcoin's value rises, the loot gets better, but enemies get harder. And if it falls, enemies are easier, but it's harder to find good loot. Interesting concept, and if the past few months are any indication, players are in for a real wild ride on that one. Now, it looks like the war is continuing between the movie subscription service MoviePass and the AMC theater chain. They haven't liked each other very much in the past, and now it's getting worse. Recently, the service, which charges a monthly fee in some cities for unlimited access to movies in theaters, said it's dropping some of AMC's biggest theaters from its service, including theaters in New York, Los Angeles, and Boston. MoviePass and AMC, which is the nation's largest theater chain, have been at war pretty much ever since the service cut its monthly fee to $10 per month last year. AMC argued that that was too low a price and that theaters would suffer if too many people signed up for the service. Meanwhile, MoviePass CEO Mitch Lowe said in a recent statement, "As of today, you'll find a small handful of theaters are no longer available on our platform. Our number one goal as a company is to provide an accessible price point for people to enjoy films the way they're meant to be seen on the big screen." So we'll see what happens. It sounds like there was a lot that went on behind the scenes there that we don't see. But for now, neither side appears to be backing down. Sadly, the dumbest fad of 2018 so far doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Yep, I'm talking about Tide Pods, which for the millionth time is dangerous and should not be ingested by anyone. It's detergent. What's not to get? Earlier this month, there were already 39 reported cases of teens in the US eating the Tide Pods, which was equal to almost the entire total of cases for 2016. It's getting worse. As of January 22nd, there have been 86 reported cases, so it's more than doubled. This is happening despite efforts from YouTube and Amazon to remove any content related to this silly stunt. YouTube said it's going to take down any videos featuring this stunt. Amazon said it's striking any reviews that encourage people to eat them. Hopefully, this kind of stupid, really stupid fad will taper off faster than fidget spinners. But for now, how about this? Don't eat Tide Pods. They're not delicious. It's not funny. It's not worth it. And it's dangerous. If all your friends jumped off a cliff. Anyway, that's the news for this roundup. It's time for the weekend, my dudes. Let us know what you think of all the news in the comments down below. To make sure you get the news from every corner of the internet every weekday, like this video so that all of our videos will show up in your feed. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe. That way, also, all our videos will show up in your feed. All right, and have a great weekend.
I still can't believe people are eating Tide Pods.
I can. Why would you eat a Tide Pod?
I don't get it.
Like, even if you see someone do it and you're like, whoa, funny. But you know that it's detergent.
It's incredibly dangerous.
Don't do it!
You will not.
The new versions of the controllers, it sounded like virgins,